Hello and welcome. You're watching Your Trades on ET now with me, Snehisha, and with me is Ankita Saxena. And well, it's been a rather volatile trading day coming in. It's been absolutely lackluster. We've ended very flat. In fact, we tipped over to the green just a couple of minutes before closing, but we have ended in the red. Not much to worry about. It's just a slight negative bias coming in on the index today. However, we have managed to end above 24,600. Barely so, but nonetheless, it's above 24,600. So at least that's where the Nifty has ended. Let's take a look at what the Sensex has done. Sensex has also ended pretty flat, but above that 81,500 marks, looking good over there as well. Good show of support coming in from the broader markets today. Nifty mid cap was up 0.2, small cap was up 0.3%. Small cap continues to outperform all of its peer indices, so looking good from the broader markets as well. If you take a look at Nifty Bank, that was one real solid performer today because 0.3% uptick coming in on the Nifty Bank index as well. India VIX was lower by almost 2.5%, 13.8 thereabouts, so looking very healthy on that front as well. A couple of sectoral gainers and losers then to talk about in today's trade. Realty was one of your top gainers today, backed by that big move we saw coming in on Raymond. You had 11% uptick coming in. A good Jeffries note coming in on Godrej Properties has also kept the realty sector afloat, so very good moves over there. You had an HSBC note coming in on IT. Most of these IT stocks were abuzz today, and that's what has made IT your second top sectoral gainer today. However, on the flip side, what did not do well was the energy pack. Media did not do well. Pharma has ended rather flat. So all of these sectors have been ailing a little bit in today's trade. But whereas the top headline today is the outgoing message of RBI Governor Shaktikanta Das and the appointment of the new governor Sanjay Malhotra. His term or his tenure rather for 3 years will begin tomorrow. So that was one of the other top headlines for today. And well, lots of stocks were in focus, Ankita.
Absolutely, Snehi. As you said, the lackluster day coming in today. In fact, for the third straight consecutive day, it has been rather lackluster as far as the markets are concerned. In fact, we just managed to close in the green, albeit very, very marginally. We managed to at least break that two-day losing streak of sorts. But nonetheless, like I mentioned, at a very, very less margin. But the stocks that were in focus today, Swiggy was shining away in trade. It was up almost 5% on the back of that bullish brokerage note coming in by CLSA. We had Metropolis also in focus. That has acquired Core Diagnostics on the back of that. We also had Vari Energies that was up 7% on the back of an order win. A couple of other names like I said, they were soaring away in trade. We had HSBC note on the IT pack. The IT pack was also doing very well. In fact, a couple of their names were even trading at the life highs. Coforge, Persistent, they all hit its all-time high in today's trading session. But to tell you what, to get you more on the markets and where do we see it headed, at least for this week, we're joined by Soni Patnaik, who's the Assistant Vice President, Equity Broking Group's Research at JM Financial Services. Hi, Dhwani. Thank you so much for joining us today. Hi, Soni. Thank you so much for joining today.
Hi, good afternoon, Ankita and Snehi. Thank you for having me on your show.
Right. So, Soni, tell us, 2 days of flip-flopping, the Nifty just managed to cross the 24,600 levels today. And as I can see, for the 12th December expiry, there's a short build-up. So, there is this bit of a bearish bearish outlook that has creeped into the market. Tell us, by the end of this week, what are the levels that you're penciling in on the benchmark at least?
So Ankita, what we saw today was that Nifty has been taking support of 24,500. Now, as long as that support level gets defended, there's a possibility of the sideways trend to continue maybe for another day or at least till Thursday, where the Nifty weekly expiry is there. The fresh upside can be seen once it crosses above the 24,800 mark. So above that, Nifty can head towards 25,000 to 25,200 range, and that is the level to watch out for. It all depends upon how strongly the 24,500 support gets defended. So it could be a sideways trend for another one more day. You can see and continue with the lackluster movement, and a lot of stock specific action may continue. However, by the end of the week, we are positive on Nifty and quite constructive for the index to test towards 25,000 plus levels.
Okay, so those are the levels, in fact, that you're watching out on Nifty. But Soni, while you have shared your outlook with us, you still say that there is some amount of pressure that we can expect amid a market like this. Where are you picking out stocks? Where are you seeing value? And what would you advise to our viewers where to look out for value heading into tomorrow's trading session?
So, Sneha, the first pick would be a buy in Dixon. Now, Dixon, we've seen very strong put option, open interest adding up all from the strikes from 17,000 to 17,500 strike prices, indicating that this is a good support strength. So, anywhere towards 17,500, one can accumulate a buy, keep a stop loss of 17,200, and a positional target of 18,000 can be seen. So, if it sustains above 18,000, even 18,200 plus levels can be seen. So, the first buy is in Dixon. The second buy pick comes in macrotech developers, that is Lodha. We've seen quite aggressive long built positions in the stock taking place today to the tune of 9%. The stock has also given a very good closing above the 1400 resistance mark. So one can buy in the stock and keep a stop loss of 1390 and look for higher targets towards 1440 to 1450.
All right, so Dixon Tech and Macrotech Developers, those are two picks. Thank you so much, Soni, for taking the time out and telling us about the levels that you're penciling in on the index and as well as your picks. But we'll move on to the word from the wise. The December quarter is likely to remain rather muted, but the earnings are likely to improve from quarter one of FY26. That's the word coming in from Dinshaw Rani, who's the CEO of Helios Mutual Fund. Let's go across and listen in to why he thinks caution is warranted.
Also looks fairly bad as compared to what one saw in the YY numbers as such in December. So maybe you'll see some kind of semblance coming back in fundamentals going to the June quarter. So basically the call out that we're saying, even if it's a flattish, rather a single digit kind of growth market that we're talking about, I think the bulk of the run will happen only in the second half of the year, calendar year that is. And that's when you'll see some kind of semblance coming through as such. So that's what our call is, and that's why I think we're fairly cautious for the next couple of quarters. I think we'll be more in defenses than in aggressive sectors. It's going to be a stock pickers market, no doubt. There'll be pockets which will do well, and there'll be pockets which will really follow the.
Okay, that's the word coming in from Dinshaw Rani. But as the street bids adieu to the outgoing RBI Governor Shaktikanta Das and welcomes the new Governor Sanjay Malhotra, we caught up with a whole host of voices who tell us where their expectations lie, what they expect the next 100 days of the new governor to look like. Let's go across and listen in.
I'm quite confident that he will continue to take the RBI to the higher pedestal in terms of the contribution put in by Mr. Shaktikanta Das, and also perhaps he will take the legacy forward. His ground level experience will be something which will be used which will be put to good use in his new role as a governor RBI.
Policy continuity, because that is the one strong tradition in the Reserve Bank, that its primary focus on inflation and financial stability, those things will certainly continue. And in addition, the focus on digital payments and payment new ventures that has been initiated in the recent past, that will be carried forward. This, I don't think the focus on these things, there will not be any let up by any governor, new governor, including Mr. Malhotra.
He will probably bring some perspective from his technology background. I think that is possibly going to the new areas which make the Reserve Bank future ready. Particularly AI is a big way it is coming. So how you make the systems and processes align to these new developments in new frontiers of technology, that possibly will be a new area, which not a new area, but area which will need a new perspective.
He has a lot of exposure to Indian macroeconomic policy and a lot of, let us say, knowledge of the government and how it works. And one of the factors that worked very well, just after the pandemic, India has been doing very well. And one of the factors that is responsible for this is very good coordination between the RBI and the government. So I think he will bring in that aspect.
All right, with that, it's time for us to slip into a short break. You don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hi there, welcome back to Your Trades. Let's take a look at what the derivative setup has shaped up to be like today, and this is for the 12th December expiry. Let's look at the trend for Nifty. Some short build-up being seen over there, so looking slightly worrisome on that front. But trend for Nifty Bank is looking good so far because a long build-up is what we're seeing. So at least that is looking good for now. India VIX has cooled off a further 2.5% today, coming in at 13.8. So yeah, well, looking rather healthy on that front as well. When you take a look at the Nifty active calls and put levels for the options then for 12 December, active call writing has been seen at 24,700 and 24,800 levels, making 24,700 the next resistance level to watch out for. If you take a look at active puts, 24,500 and 24,400 is where we are seeing put writing, making 24,500 your next support level to watch out for. So 24,500 on the downside as well as 24,700 on the upside is the levels that we're seeing at least being penciled in on the street when it comes to the entire F&O space.
All right, so that's how the F&O space and the derivatives diary looks for this week. But we will move on to a buzzer in trade today, and that was Swiggy, definitely in focus, soaring away 5% in trade on the back of that CLSA note, where CLSA has initiated an outperform. My colleague Ashesha is standing by with more details on their rationale. Over to you, Ashesha.
Well, yes, Swiggy in the spotlight. CLSA has initiated coverage with an outperform rating and a target price of 708. The stock currently trades at 540 odd levels, implying nearly 30% upside as compared to yesterday's closing price. CLSA is very bullish. They believe that Swiggy has significant growth potential as it addresses very large addressable market both for quick commerce as well as for food delivery, and they believe that the market will increase or will grow by 6 times from the period FY24 to FY30. They see Swiggy's execution improving with accelerating growth and improving profitability. Swiggy, they say, will continue to lag Zomato, but that has already been priced in, which makes them very bullish on this counter. Remember, Swiggy listed at about 420 at an 8% premium, and since then the stock has already run up over 30%. But yes, CLSA has come out with a report. Outperform rating 708 is the target price. The stock in focus on the back of that.
Absolutely, Ashesha. Thanks so much for taking us through that. Surprisingly, this is the highest target that any brokerage has ever given Swiggy since its listing. 708 is quite the bullish number coming in from CLSA. But while we're talking about Swiggy and a couple of other high flyers today, let me also bring on board my colleague Gaurav, who's standing by with a list of all the stocks that were in focus and were abuzz in today's trade. Gaurav, take it away.
Well, yes, Gujarat Gas was in focus today because company has taken a hike of around 2.3 rupees per SAM. Now the prices of gases have gone up more than propane in Morbi region. Other than that, let's also focus on life insurance segment, because when we talk about companies like LIC, we saw actually the degrowth of around 12% for the month of November in individual AP, and whereas when we talk about private players, that it grew almost by 15%. Other than that, we also have updates from non-life insurers. When we talk about companies like Star Health, we saw an increase of around 7% in the premiums for the month of November. But at the same time, when we talk about ICICI Lombard, we saw a degrowth of around 2.6%, while Go Digit also registered a degrowth of around 3.7%, and after that we saw some pressure in these counters. Other than that, Glenmark Pharma was in focus today because first clinical data on blood cancer actually shown some kind of positive signs. They have said that the clinical data suggested overall response rate was higher, and after that we saw some uptick in this counter. There are also some players which are buzzing on the back of the brokerage note. So we have got Godrej Properties because Jefferies maintained buy rating at a target price of 3,750 rupees. What they are saying is that the company can actually show a pre-sales growth of around 35% in FY25, and with this remains as a top pick in the property segment. And after that we saw some uptick in this counter. So definitely watching out on all these counters on the back of the news flow as well as brokerage note that has come throughout the day.
Alright, so while those were the counters that were in focus in today's trading session, we also had the AMFI data come out for the month of November. My colleague Sharad is joining us to break down the details for that. Over to you, Sharad.
Well, interestingly, the equity inflows are still at the 3-month high levels, and of course the large cap funds over there itself, the numbers have come down when it comes to the inflows, but the most important number to track for the November's AMFI data is the SIP numbers. That is still coming at almost the record levels. Last month the amount was roughly 25,323 crore rupees of inflows, and now also the amount is almost the same, 25,320 crore rupees. That means for the second straight month the inflows have been more than 25,000 odd crore rupees. Now the equity segment itself, they have performed well, and this has crossed the almost 36,000 crore mark, and at an average, if you look at it over the last 6 to 8 months, this has constantly been maintained. There has been strong flows coming back into the sectorals and a thematic fund space, and they have seen an inflow of roughly 7,700 crore rupees. Last month, this was just almost nothing, virtually almost 353 odd crore rupees as well. SMID schemes, the small and mid cap schemes, their inflows have been sustained and they have actually grown over the last 4 months, and for the 4th straight month, the strength has been coming when it comes to flows. Also, lastly, the large cap fund, which I'd like to point out over here, there has been a fall of almost 26% on a month-on-month basis when it comes to the overall flows. And interestingly, the equity AUM and the total AUM of the overall mutual fund industry still are near their record high levels. But yes, the important thing is that the NFOs have started reducing, and for the 3rd straight month, the NFOs have reduced. NFOs have added roughly 4,052 crores worth of inflows, and totally 18 schemes were launched in the month of November. But all in all, the retail sentiment is very strong when it comes to the SIP. But yes, there are certain movements happening in certain categories in the equity segment, but do remember, all the equity segments have given positive inflows this month.
Thanks for all of that number crunching and summing up that AMFI data for us. But moving on to...
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.